When Jedi Survivor came out all the way back in April, the performance was absolutely atrocious. I streamed the game day one, and in the first area the performance was pretty bad, kind of dipped below 60, rarely held 60. And then the second area, the start of it was kind of closed, so it ran pretty well, and that's where I ended my stream. But the next day I woke up to play more Jedi Survivor, and that area got a lot more open and the performance was absolutely atrocious. It was so bad that the difference between performance and quality mode was almost indistinguishable. Yes, quality mode looked a lot better, but they ran pretty much the same. But what I want to show you here is that the performance is pretty rough, okay? On performance mode. Once we take off performance mode, firstly, it feels like it's running through mud, but obviously it's 30 FPS. It's, you know, there's going to be a big difference. But here you can see that this game is running roughly the same performance as performance mode, and I am on fidelity mode. It's slightly worse, but not much difference, which is like just absolutely ridiculous. And it prompted me to make a video saying, please wait on Jedi Survivor, because I wasted €80 on that game back then, and they've released so many patches since then. And yesterday I saw on Twitter that Respawn tweeted out saying that they finally got the game running at 60 FPS in performance mode. So it kind of makes you wonder, why didn't they just wait and release the game 5 months later, instead of giving us an unfinished game that barely even worked? And of course I had to reinstall the game to check it out for myself. And I'm glad to say that this game does actually finally run at 60 FPS. So I loaded up the game and I was in the Jedi Temple on the second planet. And already I noticed, wow, this game actually runs really well. Now, the thing is that that's a small area, nice and enclosed, so obviously the performance was going to be better there. But when I got out of that area and I was exploring the town where you meet Grease, I was honestly shocked that they weren't lying and that this game does run at 60 FPS now. So for anybody that watched my last video, this is the area that I realized that the game ran like crap. And this was the part that I used my video to show off. So from a visual standpoint, there's still a couple of visual glitches that I noticed in my short time playing this. There was like a bit of shimmering and kind of flickering, especially I was going up and down a lift. And then you still kind of have that weird, I don't know, artifacting or shimmering effect around Cal's hair. But again, that's very minor to you know, if the game runs at 60 FPS, I could completely, that I can look over all that stuff. But as you can see here, the game in 60 FPS, I don't really think they did too much like compromise-wise to get it running, because from what I can remember, again, this is 5 months ago, so, you know, there's going to be certain parts of my memory that aren't as fresh. But from what I can remember, this game, it looks just as good, if not better, than last time when I played it, which is great. And also, it runs at 60 FPS. So this was specifically the area. As I walked around here, there's a part where there's a good couple of enemies, and that's where the game absolutely tanked. And in that last video, I showed how the difference between performance and quality mode was almost completely no difference whatsoever. So you were better off playing in performance or quality mode because the game just looked better. So I'm not going to fight that guy because, as you can see, I've tried to record this video before, this section of the video, and he killed me. And unfortunately, I've completely forgot how to play this game since it's been, you know, 5 months. I will go back. I'll have to restart it if I do play it. But down here is where I showed. Oh, okay, so the screen tearing is still an issue. I don't know if that comes through on the video, but there was screen tearing in the original version, and there was a significant amount of screen tearing here. So here is where the game tanked last time. So I'll push him off, and already now I can really notice a good bit of screen tearing here, which is kind of annoying. But let's see, these battle droids are tough to fight from what I can remember, and these guys are also pretty tough. If I remember, I could throw him. There we go. Okay, is that the battle droid dead? Yes. Okay, so there still is, you know, a couple of frame drops here or there. Nowhere near as bad though. Like, this is perfectly playable for my liking. Performance is important to me. Oh god, nearly died. Performance is important to me, so, but you know, it's almost like you come to expect just a certain amount of frame drops, you know. No game is going to run completely flawlessly, unfortunately. So, yeah, as you can see, this game runs 50 million 100 times better. That's a great statistic there. On the PlayStation 5 now. Like, you can still see the odd time it does hitch a couple of frames. and it still had some visual issues like that screen tearing that, again, I'm not sure if that actually shows up on the video or whatever. But screen tearing is pretty, I'm almost certain screen tearing is pretty user specific. I think a lot of it has to do with your actual screen as well. But like I have a 144 hertz panel here, a Gigabyte G27Q, so it is a good monitor, and I don't really notice screen tearing on other things, so maybe it's just this game specifically. But so far, and I will hopefully do an updated review of this game. Well, I never did a review originally. This game runs at 60 FPS. And with all that said and done, it kind of leads on to a weird point where, do we commend developers for fixing broken games that they clearly released unfinished? Because back in April, I wasted €80 buying this game, and I made a video, and hopefully the people that did watch that decided to avoid buying the game as well. Because now we are just getting a better product. And while now it is great having a finished game that actually works, it feels a bit weird because we're commending developers for fixing games that should have released in a proper state already. But this is a better scenario than the many games that come out broken and never get fixed full stop. Regardless though, it still does feel weird celebrating a game that's fixed that should have been fixed. But it also goes to show that realistically, if you are a gamer, you are almost always better off just waiting. Now, I'm impatient and I also have this channel, so it makes sense for me to buy day one because obviously I'm a reviewer, so I need to review the games if I don't get codes, and also I like to stream games on launch day. And if me wasting €80 means that I can warn people off, then I guess that's just part of the job. You will waste money on games, and hopefully a lot of you waited. The game is in a great state now. The only problem is that it couldn't have been fixed at a worse time. I had to put down Baldur's Gate 3 because I knew Starfield was coming out. I had to beat Armored Core 6 quickly because I knew Starfield was coming out. And then after Starfield, once that is all said and done, there's about 20 other games coming out from now till the end of the year. So to be honest, Jedi Survivor, I would like to go back to it, and I will try my best to go back and give a full review. But right now, the game is fixed, and it probably is worth playing because by all accounts, the game itself, apart from performance issues and bugs and all that, is absolutely phenomenal. And I will believe them because the first game is really good. And so far from what I played of the second game, I did really enjoy it. But yeah, I am glad to say that it runs at 60 FPS, so thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you're actually going to pick this game up, or if you wasted money like myself back in the day and you're going to finally go back to it, or if other games are getting in the way, because that's what's happening to me. So appreciate you watching. See you all on the next video. Goodbye.